You know what's crazy? A tiny piece of silicon, smaller than your fingernail, brought the world's biggest industries to a standstill. Cars stopped rolling off assembly lines. PlayStations vanished from store shelves. iPhones were delayed. Even your washing machine couldn't escape it. This wasn't a natural disaster or a cyber attack. It was the Great Semiconductor Shortage, a global crisis caused by one of the most essential yet invisible components on Earth. So, how did one chip manage to stop the world? Let's start with the basics. A semiconductor is basically the brain inside every electronic device. It tells your phone what to do, it makes your car smarter, and it powers everything from data centers to your toaster. Modern cars need more than 1,500 chips just to function, from the sensors in your airbags to the screen in your dashboard. Even your car keys have chips. But making them? That's a different story. It's one of the most complex manufacturing processes in human history. We're talking about etching microscopic circuits on silicon wafers inside billion-dollar clean rooms. So clean that a single speck of dust could ruin an entire batch. And here's the catch. Only a handful of companies in the world can make these chips. And even fewer can make the most advanced ones. The chain reaction started in early 2020. The world shut down. Car companies panicked, thinking no one would buy cars during a pandemic. So they canceled their chip orders. But while people stopped driving, they started buying electronics. Laptops, webcams, monitors, gaming consoles, all the things we suddenly needed to work and live from home. So chip makers redirected production away from cars to consumer electronics. And when car sales suddenly bounced back a few months later, guess what? There were no chips left for them. It was like a game of musical chairs, and the auto industry was left standing. Then, just to make things worse, disasters started hitting chip factories around the world. A fire at a Renesas plant in Japan, a drought in Taiwan that cut off the ultra-pure water needed for chip making, a freak winter storm in Texas that froze semiconductor fabs for weeks. Each of these took out a critical piece of the supply chain, and the delays piled up. By mid-2021, the world realized just how dependent it was on this tiny component. Ford, Toyota, GM, all forced to pause production. Some even shipped cars without certain features just to keep things moving. Sony couldn't make enough PlayStation 5s. Apple had to slow iPhone production. Even industries you wouldn't expect, like medical devices, credit cards, and home appliances, started to feel it. Analysts estimate the global auto industry alone lost over $200 billion because of chip shortages. But the bigger issue wasn't just a lack of chips, it was where the chips came from. Because 92% of the world's most advanced semiconductors come from one place, Taiwan. Specifically one company, TSMC, the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. Let that sink in. Almost every high-end smartphone, car, and computer chip depends on one company, on one island, sitting in one of the most geopolitically tense regions in the world. That's not just a supply chain risk, that's a global vulnerability. The chip shortage was a wake-up call for governments everywhere. The United States passed the CHIPS and Science Act, pledging over $50 billion to bring semiconductor manufacturing back home. Europe announced its own EU CHIPS Act. Japan and South Korea started offering subsidies to lure chip makers to build locally. Meanwhile, companies like Intel, Samsung, and TSMC began breaking ground on massive new fabs in Arizona, Texas, Japan, and Germany. Each one costs tens of billions of dollars and takes years to build. But even with all that investment, the problem isn't solved overnight. Because chips aren't made in isolation, they rely on an entire ecosystem. You need rare gases from Ukraine, photoresist chemicals from Japan, precision tools from the Netherlands, and software from the US. A single disruption anywhere in that chain can ripple across the globe. The semiconductor shortage exposed something deeper, the hidden fragility of our modern economy. For decades, companies optimized their supply chains for efficiency. Just-in-time manufacturing, Zero inventory, lowest cost. But in a global crisis, efficiency isn't enough. You need resilience. That's why companies are now shifting to just-in-case models, keeping safety stock, building regional backups, and investing in digital tools to forecast disruptions before they happen. The shortage also pushed innovation. It accelerated the move towards smaller, more efficient chip designs, AI-driven production planning, and supply chain transparency. So what did we learn? That the modern world runs on invisible technology, and sometimes all it takes is one missing chip to bring everything to a halt. As we move into an era of AI, electric vehicles, and smart everything, the question isn't just who makes the fastest chip, but who can keep the supply chain alive when the next crisis hits. Because when one chip can stop the world, resilience isn't optional, it's survival.